Okay, so again, our goal is to populate this data. Let's populate this table with the data from the pseudo student DAO. So within FXML or Java FXML, we want to use this observable class, and it's called observable list. This is observable list of student. We want to say here, I'll call this data for now. And we're going to say here FX collections dot observable array list. And this is going to take in this list that came from right there. Okay. So this list is coming from the student DAO. And again, look at the student DAO here. I mean, the pseudo student DAO. It's clean here. All the logic is somewhere else. We're just going to call that logic. Okay. And the next thing we do here is we ask the table, which is, this is the table name. I'm sorry, the table name is right here, TBL student. We're going to say here, TBL student set items. And we're going to set the data, this observable data. So notice that we passed it from the list. Then we passed this list right here to this observable array list. And it's passed it here to this data right here. And then we set it. Let's save it. Let's run it. Let's pray that it works. I'll right click here on the main program, run Java application, click on the search button. I got nothing. Okay. Looks like it was trying to populate it with data, but let me tell you what the problem is. Okay. It doesn't know how to map to TC name, TC first name. It doesn't know how to take this model data that we created here with all these fields. It doesn't know how to map these fields to this information here. So what we're going to do is we're going to create that map right now, one at a time. Now you can do this through code, but I hate the code way. You know, I think since you're doing this with FXML on the view, I like doing it this way better. Okay, so I'm going to close all of this just to make sure it's not there. And let's just focus on the FXML. First thing that I want to do is I want to focus on the first one. And let's take our time because it's easy to mess up the XML if you're not careful. This is just XML, but of course it's FXML. Let's focus on this field first. First, I'll get rid of this single-sided tag, hit enter, and then I'll end this tag accordingly to follow the XML rules. So table column, table column. The next thing we'll do here is we'll type in cellValueFactory. I'm doing control space so I can finish it. That's the cellValueFactory. Hit enter. And there's one more tag that we need. It's called property value factory. And we're going to say here property is equal to a certain field. Close this with a single-sided tag so you can follow the XML rules. This property is the name that you have here in your Java bean. Okay. Okay, so that's this ID here. So this is how it will map to the TC ID that's there. If we save it and we run it, let's see if that works. I'll go back to this application right here to the main. I'll say run as Java application. And now if I click on search, I get a boo-boo. Oh, this has happened to me a couple of times and it drove me nuts. I actually had to Google this to see this work. Let me see here. Cannot Java. Let's see here. Class exception. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. Okay, so I have, oh, you know what? I spelled this wrong. This is what happens to you. Code really fast. This should have been extra brackets here, extra brackets there, extra brackets here. Save that. Okay. Let's run this again. And again, I'll have a couple more errors, but I want you to see the errors also. Let's click on search. And there you go. Okay. That mapped to the right field. So what we're going to do in the next video is we're going to map all these fields the same technique here. Okay. So we'll do this one at a time until it works. Okay. Let's see. Make sure when you do this, and this might be, when I did control space, it actually did IntelliSense and put it here. So make sure this line exists here. Because when I did control space, it forced the IDE to import this. This wasn't here originally. So this is a mistake that I had made when I was actually coding this on my own. Make sure this line is there. Okay. Let's save it. And in the next video, we'll continue the rest.